I've recently started posting way more on my Instagram story, and I've had people come up to me and say like, oh, I really like the stories. A girl I met yesterday who's a YouTuber as well, she was like, oh my God, you're a marketing genius. I wish I could do what you do. And for me, I was taken back a bit. I was like, wait, is it that special? And apparently the way that I'm actually like navigating my like business and marketing and content creation is quite special. So I want to break down exactly what I'm doing with some like autistic level steps that you can follow as well, because before, just a few weeks ago, the only thing I was consistent in was posting onto YouTube, which is probably the same as you if you're watching this. You've probably got like one platform, probably YouTube. You're posting fairly consistently. And then you're probably wondering, and this video is for you if you're wondering this, which is like, okay, like things are pretty good, I'm making some progress, but I've got more time, I've got more work energy inside of me. What is more work that I can do to make more money? So this is what you can do to add on top of posting consistently to YouTube. Add in Instagram and Twitter, and this is exactly how I would do that. First of all, we need to like grow your Instagram and Twitter following, and the fastest way to do that is to link it from your YouTube over to Instagram, Twitter. So on your YouTube, go over to the community post section and paste your links there, tell people to follow you, tell people the value you're going to be posting, link it in the description of your videos, and then you'll start getting some followers just from this kind of content. And we also will grow organically. So this is exactly what I do, because I've tried to use Instagram before, and maybe you have, and you kind of like randomly post on it and then you just kind of forget to use it for like weeks. Recently, I'm on a cut for like my bodybuilding journey. So I'm doing 1 hour of cardio a day. And what I do is I do 1 hour on the treadmill with like an 8% incline and 4.5 speed. And that's just enough that when your brain is kind of focused on something, you know, you're typing away on your phone, that it's hard enough that you can maintain it for an hour straight, but you get like you're sweaty as fuck and it feels like a proper like, you know, cardio session. So I go on the treadmill, 8% incline, 4.5 speed. And what I do is I start blasting out Instagram stories where I talk on the niche of my product. So I'll start posting stories of like, my main Instagram is more like a red pill dating kind of niche, because that's the product that I sell for that page. So I start talking about dating and sex and relationships, and I often use the feature on Instagram, which is like the questions tab. You know, when you go on the stories and you can have questions and there's like a box that people can leave a question in, and I'll just go through them. Now I've got plenty of followers, so it's like easy for me to get a ton of questions, but you could use like ChatGPT for this and just get random popular questions and just answer them. Just type away on your phone, and the biggest thing is like you need to have the pair of balls to not like get perfectionism for this. Sometimes I'll upload, you know, like I'll send out the story and I notice that like the text box is a little bit wonky or something, or like sometimes there's one word which have got, you know, it's misspelled and there's a wrong letter in there. And that's okay. For Instagram stories, that's actually fine. And if it means that you start posting consistently, then it's your benefit, because it's better than not posting at all. So I'll start blasting out these stories, saying what's on my mind, just first draft, not really editing the text, just ranting a little bit. I've got music on, I'm just walking on the treadmill, feeling good, blasting out these stories, you know, writing like abrasive shit, just stuff that I find funny, replying to these questions or generating your own questions. And then I copy the text that's about to go live on the Instagram story, and I get it onto X as well, onto Twitter. Then what I do is I go over and get my link to my program and I add it as like the link feature on the Instagram story, and also sometimes at the bottom of the long form tweet as well. So now almost every day I'm doing 1 hour of like Instagram stories, Twitter cross posting with the link, and my sales just went up. I'm getting probably about 50 sales a day recently, which is fucking insane, right? So on my main channel, I sell a program which is $37 a month, recurring. It's like a self-improvement program. And I'm getting about 50 sales a day. And this is not like on launch or anything. I launched it over like a month ago. So it's like consistently growing by a large number of people, right? Which is fucking awesome. And before I was doing Instagram and X, it was probably about like 25 to 30. So it's basically double the daily sales by me doing this extra hour, which genuinely, here's the most important part about this strategy. It's genuinely fun. Look, I can walk you through the technical aspects of like what to type or whatever, you know, what to say. But the reason why this is working for me is because first and foremost, I'm a YouTuber. And every time I've tried to post to Instagram or X, I'll do it for like 2 days and I basically just like stop doing it because it's not really a part of like my identity or whatever. But with this specific tactic when I'm on the treadmill in the gym for an hour listening to music and just blasting away these stories, and I'm writing stuff that I personally find funny, and I'm not adding like the extra sort of perfectionist kind of mindset. It's the psychology of this that I think you should try and take away. It's so sustainable for me. And it's genuinely fun. Like, I literally honestly do this for fun. Like, if it didn't make money and if it wasn't burning calories, then I probably wouldn't do it. But it's like, it's so enjoyable. I'm literally like laughing as I type out these stories, you know, because I'm like just like writing polarizing shit. I'm writing funny shit. I'm answering questions. Someone asks me like a serious question and I'm writing away, you know, I want to like write it. But I'm not doing it in this like perfectionist kind of content creation where you're reading it all proper or whatever. I just write it, boom, send to story. Write it, boom, send to story. So there's like 15 stories on my Instagram. If you want to go check my Instagram, most likely if you're watching this on any day, you'll probably see it, so you can just go see exactly how it is. It's at Cult Leader Hamza. Just go have a look at my Instagram. Maybe you'll see the barrage of stories where it starts with me saying like, oh yeah, ask me a question, and I just go on a rant, and you'll see that I constantly will be linking my program. There's a debate we can ask here actually, which is how often should you link your program? How often should you sell? Because everyone online will tell you that you should do the whole jab, 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 right hook. And I actually am starting to disagree with that. I clicked on like a random guy's YouTube video once, like a few months ago, and he ended up saying this phrase where he was like, oh yeah, you should CTA like 5 to 10 times more than you currently are. CTA, you know, like sell your product. Way more. You should like have way more pitches than you currently are. You should do way more pitches to your product than you currently are doing right now. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, like that actually makes sense. Like if you want to make more money, why don't you just pitch your product more? Like think about it. Ask yourself, how many pieces of content are going out where you've pitched your product? If you post daily to YouTube and in every YouTube video you do a CTA, you know, hey guys, click the link in the description, then you're doing 1 CTA per day. If you post 10 Instagram stories and copy and paste the text to 10 X posts, like Twitter posts, and let's say 50% of them have got the link to the product, we've just went from 1 CTA a day to like what, 10, 15. That's fucking huge. Now the 1 CTA for YouTube might be more effective than, you know, like 5 on Instagram and Twitter because you'll probably have less of a following there. But you know what I'm actually gonna say? This is gonna sound crazy because I'm a full-time YouTuber, right? I woke up this morning, I was getting ready to record these videos, and what I do is an extra tip for you if you want to do this as like a little habit. I wake up and I track my sales every day. So I look at like the platform I have and how many members are inside, and I write it down every day. So that's how I know that I gain like roughly 40 to 50 sales every single day, right? I track that, and it's been basically double recently than it was just like a few days ago before I was doing Instagram and Twitter. And I stopped for a second and I was like, wait, I think this is crazy to say. I hope like you're gonna pay attention to this. I actually think we can make more money on Instagram and X than even on YouTube. On YouTube, the whole like, you know, long form content, hey guys, you know, click the link in the description. I'm not sure if many people actually buy that much from YouTube. Like, of course they do, of course, but like Instagram and Twitter seem like, Instagram specifically, but I'm probably thinking Twitter as well. I'll try it for a bit more and maybe update you. But Instagram especially feels like it's very lucrative. Like apparently like a lot of people buy from Instagram, like a lot. That I told you that story like yesterday. I was with this girl who's like a YouTuber, and she said this to me as well, because she was like a full-time YouTuber and she's actually switched to full-time Instagram, and now she makes about double the money she was making when I first met her like 4 or 5 months ago. Because Instagram, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's actually pretty easy to buy. You know, it's the standard stuff, link in bio, whatever. But I think Instagram stories are like this weird, unique mechanism of the platform where it's like you can literally have 10 stories in a row which link to your product, and it's not crazy to do that. You couldn't have 10 emails. Imagine sending out 10 emails on one day to your audience. That's like, that would be way too many. People would unsubscribe, they'd be pissed off. You couldn't have 10 videos a day with the CTA on YouTube, but you can have 10 stories a day, and people actually engage on stories like fucking crazy, especially if they already like you and they know that you post like quite like valuable stories. So sometimes in my stories, you'll go see, if you just go check my Instagram, like my main one, Cult Leader Hamza. Sometimes in my stories, there's no pitch, it's just like a rant. It's, you know, sometimes the rant isn't about my product's niche, so I'm not going to link it there. And then sometimes I do link it. Sometimes it's like a personal thing, and I'm just sat with a girl, or I'm eating some food and I'm talking about like, oh yeah, you know, most men are fat and they don't eat clean or whatever. And then other times I'm talking about the niche of my product, so I link it there. And people don't find that crazy. Like, they don't find it crazy when you do like 5 story posts with a CTA to your product in each one. But if you did 5 emails, that would be insane. If you did 5 YouTube videos in a day, that would be insane. So I was having a shit this morning just thinking about this. You know, I was logging the results from the sales from yesterday. And I was like, yeah, like maybe Instagram is like more lucrative than I thought. So maybe this big lesson for you is find a way to make Instagram and just, you know, content on across all these platforms way more effortless for you and way more enjoyable. YouTube is still like a staple, and so still continue doing that. But I would say chances are, if you're watching this, you've probably got to the point now where you could actually add in another 1 or 2 platforms and start growing on them as well. If you're watching this, you've probably got to the point in YouTube where like you kind of know what to do. You kind of know, okay, how to post, whatever. And so now you're actually thinking, yeah, fuck yeah, I've got more time. Doing like an hour of cardio a day, like on the treadmill, fuck it, like what else am I doing? I just come home and consume content. I may as well do an hour of cardio, so it's like really good for my heart. I'm losing calories, I'm getting leaner, which, you know, when you're more attractive, you'll make more money as well, and plus your life's just better. You know, you're leaner, less body fat, facially more attractive, jawline, whatever. That's always going to be an advantage as well. That's like a separate point for your fitness journey. But then also, like, bro, like if you get an extra sale, let's say you're a complete beginner, you get an extra sale like every week just from you spamming Instagram stories. Like, that's fucking awesome, right? That's fucking amazing. So that's what I do to become more of like a content machine. I'm just recording content as much as possible, and I'm creating content now when I'm in the middle of the gym. Sometimes I pull my phone out, the front camera, when I'm hanging out with the boys and they've said something interesting, or I'm hanging out with a girl and I'm just gonna record it just like that. I wanna be the kind of guy who can create content just like 24/7. One final tip, I'll just give you a random tip. When I was speaking to that same girl who's more, you know, she's pushed over to Instagram, she's told me that the Instagram carousel posts are doing quite well. You know how like on Instagram, for the actual posting you can do, not the reels, but like, you know, you can post pictures, whatever. You can press that little button which turns it into a carousel, like so there's multiple pictures. And Instagram is actually giving that more organic reach. It's actually being pushed to people kind of like reels. In fact, we were talking about it yesterday, and here's the final lesson I'll give you. I actually think, you know, the reels, like short form content, you know how like the idea of shorts was that it's kind of like more dopamine, it's faster. Can you think of anything that's even more dopamine and faster than like a 15-second clip of, you know, like this kind of cropped as like a vertical short? Pictures with text. Like, think about it. Me getting my point across in a short will take me 45 seconds, right? It's 45 seconds short of me explaining like, oh, top 9 no-fap tips or whatever. But a carousel post, which is pictures with text, that actually, when you think about it, is even faster dopamine, right? So what you might see is some of the biggest Instagram profiles, they're actually not posting the conventional like TikTok, Instagram reel video, you know, like the talking head video that's like cropped from their YouTube video or anything. They're posting screenshots of the video with captions, like text, like it's a picture with text as a carousel post that you can swipe through, and those posts are getting insane engagement and growth right now. So again, I'm recently just experimenting with this because I'm not like an Instagram guy. My Instagram, I've just made it to get me pussy basically, but I'm like switching it over to business. So this isn't a pitch for me to get followers. I really think you should go study my Instagram and see like the most recent things I'm doing, because I'm experimenting, and you might be able to spot what is working, what I'm sticking to, especially this video will come out in a few days. So you'll be able to just like look through my Instagram and be like, oh, it's interesting. He was trying that kind of content, that kind of post, and then he stopped it. He's trying this one and he's continued it for like 5 days straight. Okay, this, you know, probably some good results. As of this time, I have like 225,000 followers, and I've just stayed there because I gain a few hundred followers a day, but I also lose a few hundred followers a day. And basically the point that we want with followers, like why are followers valuable? Because, you know, you know this, like likes ain't cash, subscribers, follower count, it's not as valuable as people think it is. But on Instagram, it might be. On YouTube, the subscriber count is utterly worthless. It does fucking nothing. Like, the subscriber count really does nothing. You can blow up without it. You can have millions of followers and not get any views. It doesn't fucking matter. But on Instagram, think about it. The more people who follow you, the more people who will see your story post, the more people who will engage, they'll see your carousel post. Like Instagram is still actually like quite heavily follower based, and it's like feed, there's a phrase for it, like you pull the feed based on who you follow, whose posts you like. YouTube's not really like that. YouTube's all like algorithmic. It's not about who you subscribe to, it's just about what kind of videos you often watch, and then you get that on your homepage or your suggested videos. So the game is slightly different with Instagram. You actually want to be thinking about getting new followers on there, and so whatever posts we're doing and reels we're doing, we want to think, okay, we want new followers so that more people will see our stories, because on stories is where we sell. It's not the followers that are actually valuable, it's increasing the story views. So maybe that's a metric for you to go and test today. Go and post a story, see how many story views you get, and then think, okay, I get like 75 story views in like 24 hours. I want that to say 500 in the next like few months. I want to, fucking scale this shit up. So you start posting carousel posts with some text, maybe some reels of you just talking to the camera, just spam fucking content. Use Instagram for like multiple hours a day. Don't consume on it, but post to it, post to the stories, whatever, and get to the point where you're getting like 10x the story views, and you'll start getting extra sales. And the stories are like so easy. Now I'll give you one final tip. I know I keep ending, but I keep getting new ideas to teach you, which is how do you use Instagram without fucking frying your brain and accidentally scrolling? Because this is something I've struggled with a lot. I used to feel like I was immune to the modern day bullshit, the fucking scrolling short form content. But then in the last like year or so, it's been getting me as well. Like sometimes I'll just find myself scrolling for like a fucking hour or 2 hours. And what I found was recently I've been using Instagram so productively, like it's so awesome. But then I come home, and then if I open up Instagram, that's when I end up scrolling. I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I realize, oh, that's so interesting. I never ever scroll when I'm on the treadmill in the gym. And I think a part of that is because, bro, there's other people around. I don't want to be seen as the type of guy who's just fucking scrolling on his phone. It's just fucking embarrassing, right? So I allow myself completely to use Instagram in public, in the gym, when I'm making stories, carousel posts. But I'm so careful to not click on the app when I'm at home, because clicking on the app to just reply to someone can turn into like a 2-hour scrolling session. So I downloaded this app. Actually, I'll read out the name to you, where you can set a timer. I think you've got to pay for it, but I'm on the free trial right now, and it's Refocus. See the black one at the bottom, the little moonlight thing, Refocus. I downloaded that, and what you can do is lock an app based on what time of the day it is. So I block it before like 8 a.m. and then after like 1 p.m. So that block, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. usually is when I go to the gym. It's okay if I use Instagram then. But when I come back home, if I click on Instagram once, bro, I'm gone for like multiple fucking hours. I'm just fucking retard. So I've blocked it for when I'm back home. And it's easy to turn off the block. But that little bit of friction, you see how Instagram's like a bit grayed out there. You see how it's locked, and if I click on it, it's just this. That little bit of friction is just enough to remind me to be like, yeah, fuck it, don't fucking unblock it, because you'll end up spending like 2 hours on it. I had it set up like this yesterday, and then I actually wanted to use it productively for something, so then I turned that app off for like 5 minutes, made a quick post, like a carousel post on my main Instagram, and then basically it locked me out just in time, and I was like, okay, sweet, perfect. It's like a constant reminder to not use it in the times that it's quite dangerous. Instagram for me is productive between the hours of like 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. when I'm often at the gym, but it's not productive any other time outside of that. And as content creators, we've got to be very vigilant and have the humility to know, okay, bro, sometimes we get pulled into this content consumption bullshit that's not even valuable for us. If you're intentionally watching some content, that's all good. Like, you intentionally watch this video today, that's good, you learned. But Instagram and all these fucking short form platforms, you're not intentionally watching content. You feel like you're learning, but you're often not. So just be careful and try and find a way that you can just effortlessly, psychologically just use Instagram to get the results, but don't let it use you. Use my treadmill tactic. If I go to the gym and I see a couple of guys like fucking spamming Instagram stories there, I'll be proud, because it's a fucking flex, bro. This is the final thing I'll say. It feels like a fucking flex. I go on the treadmill for an hour, and I often make about $1,000 to $2,000 in that 1 hour where I'm just spamming stories and Twitter posts, which is a fucking flex, right? Think about that. I go on the treadmill for an hour, I step off, I've burnt like 600 calories, so I'm a little bit leaner, it feels good, my heart's healthier, and I just made like my old monthly wage. it's updated my self-esteem. I feel like the type of guy who's like fucking productive, and like no one said it yet, but I actually visualized that like if I'm sat with like a group of friends and they know that I do this Instagram tactic, that one of them will be saying like, yeah, like Hamza's always making content, and they'll say it as if it's like a fucking like it's a flex. It's like, that's fucking sick. He's making content when he's just walking on the treadmill. He's making content when he's in between rest breaks in the gym, you know, in between your sets. You want to be that type of guy who can just pull out his phone and just fucking smash out some content when you're waiting for something. You get an idea, you're just sat around at the restaurant waiting for your coffee, or you're doing the treadmill walking, or you're in between sets. Become the kind of guy who can pull out your phone and create some fucking content in the middle of that. That's how you become a content machine. And if you want lessons like this, and you want me to personally like look at your YouTube channel, I have a program that's so fucking cheap that it's insane that I actually offer this service. It's the top link in the description, where I basically like teach you how to copy my business model, where you become a content creator, you sell a digital program, you work like 10 hours a week, and you can make like $1 million a year profit from this business. Last year I think I made about 1.5 million profit. This year might be probably closer to 3 million. I'm expecting it to fucking rise like crazy. So if you want my help building this kind of business, and you want to be like a full-time content creator, and you really want to take this shit seriously, and you want my personal help, top link in the description, go to it right now. Goodbye.
Mwah.